on to prepare for GATE exam. So to Hyderabad and cleared the GATE in the production engineering itself, and I moved to NIT Trichy for my MTech masters. Mm-hmm. So there I did manufacturing technology, masters in manufacturing technology, and after I worked on a couple of projects and then moved on to a job in mechanical software development. It's nothing but like a development of answers to the layman, like back end of answers, as you know. I'm working for a company called Detroit Engineer Products. There I'm working in a team called Software Development of Import and Export. Like we have a product called Meshworks. Uh-huh. So it's a basic pre-processing software. So much of the much of the people won't know about that software because only the Ford and General Motors they're using for some projects only. So I was in a software development team, okay. Product development team. Mm-hmm. So before itself, like after my bachelor's, I was that point of time I given GRE, but I scored so less, like 290, so not even 290, 285, I guess. So at that point of time, I gave up in the sense I didn't try much next time. I wandered around and given the GATE exam, and after that I got into NIT Trichy, so will complete MTech like that I was thinking. So after coming to job, I got a thing like we need to do fulfill our dream. So at that point, after completing masters, I am in a position to apply for PhD program. I was like little bit inspired by the academic culture in NIT Trichy. Like inspired in the sense like I don't like much of the reading the research papers and writing, but the simple thing is the way of lifestyle and the professors over there. I got inspired from them. So why don't we do PhD abroad? That will be eventually help us to get back to the NITs as a professor at the long term perspective. But as a short term, I was planning as going to industry. So I applied for PhD and came here in the fall 2019. As of now, I got into material science program, mm-hmm. But then my preferences changed because of funding. Funding is the main part here. The problem is I've met with seniors, like third year PhD students in material. They are not even getting funding, so they are working outside. So that's horrible. So in this case, I can't continue. But it depends on case to case. People who are talked to me on a general, material science have that problem. So I not to master. So this is a drastic change I had, from a PhD program to masters in mechanical. So I thought of, okay, we'll go to a job. Actually, we are having 2 years of experience, right? In this field itself, we'll do some courses and go for a job. So as of now, I got I'm doing my courses in mechanical engineering. So also I'm a TA for the other department, like physics department. That's not a proper TA from our department.
You're like a grader? Are you a TA or a grader?
Grader, yeah, exactly. Grader, not a TA, exactly. Okay. I'll be looking for going to class for the students for the stations and grader. That's it.
Because that doesn't pay for
doesn't
pay for your tuition and all.
That doesn't pay for my tuition. Yeah. That only pays for my bills like rent and housing. So this is my case, and now actually I have taken a subject called CAD in manufacturing. That is a subject which is aligns with my research, not research interest. To be frank, past experience, software development in the pre-processing software development in the additive manufacturing. One professor is working on that. So I initially approached him, but at that point, in the fall 2019 itself, as a PhD student, but he told in his lab now everything is full, so he won't be funding at that point of time. So right now I'm taking his class. I mailed to him professor, and I didn't talk about anything funding. In the summer, if any projects are there, I could work on improve my skills for the job perspective. Likewise, I asked. So this is my short brief. Right?
So Pradeep, what I understood. What I understood from your communication and from your questions also, that funding has played a big role in stopping you to do a PhD. But in my understanding, you always had desired and want to do a PhD, correct?
A desire to do PhD, but I'm a little bit afraid of like hard work in the sense like this is a long process, right? That's also I mentioned in the mail. I have a desire, but I somewhere stuck. I may be thinking negative. Like the things are like it's a long process, like 4 5 years. I'm thinking of personal things also, like marriage and stuff like that. So see, people are doing marriage and doing the PhD if they are having good funding. So that's not a problem. But I am overthinking about that. So a lot of things coming in. So I left that one.
These
what?
things? What I'm saying is these all these things that came to your mind is because you had a really bad experience at Cincinnati. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it could be possible, right? That you came and you had a good funding, your project was good, and probably you were doing fine.
Yeah. That in that case, I won't be having. I had a bad experience at the UC, like at the college, both as personally and also not personally, like.
So let me ask you. Had you thought about applying to a PhD program at some other university? I mean, your university doesn't have funding, so why don't you go to other university?
Yeah, that's a good option. Oh, we can't say like if I join a lab, particular lab, I'll be getting funding. Now, as of now, not in the material science I'm talking about. I'm in the mechanical I'm telling. My primary doubt is like whether I want to, I should do PhD. That is a basic question I'm having. Like whether to pull off, I can pull off.
So let me ask you. Your problem is that you are not making up mind whether I should do a PhD, or the problem still remains that even if you want to do a PhD, there is no funding for you.
Yeah, true. If the basic thing is like I want to get into industry in such a I'm planning for industry career initially as of now. Like
no, you have to answer my question. I know what you are planning, but my question is different. My question is, you said right, you came here to do a PhD and suddenly it changed. So something happened.
Yeah.
Right. So my question is, it looks to me it changed because you had a bad experience, and of course funding is a big thing. You can't pay from your pocket. So you said, oh, I am not getting funding, so let's do a master's and get out and find a job in industry. But you came here to do a PhD. You always had that. When you arrived here, you want to do PhD, correct?
Yeah. True.
So my question to you is that right now, because of funding, are you not doing PhD, or in mechanical engineering you have option of getting funding also, but you have now this thought is whether I want to do a PhD or not? That's my question. Do you have a secure funding or not? That's number one.
No. Okay. Not no. I'll go with your second option. Like second, what you told about. Even though I'll not be getting funding in the fall. If I eventually enter into a lab, I'll be getting a funding. So that's not a problem. I look not as a problem. Funding part, the mechanical department, because material science I left, right.
Yeah.
So on the mechanical, it won't be mechanical. That sort of problem.
So my question to you in Cincinnati, if you decide to pursue PhD in mechanical, you will get funding in fall.
Yeah. Not in fall. It will be just now. I had not changed the program from the spring, so it made time.
So you already have this discussion.
Suddenly, I'll not get.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you already had this discussion with some professor, and they are willing to give you funding.
No. They are nothing had talked about any funding. I'm now a master's candidate. I have not talked about anything about funding. So but I am getting interested in lab. That's it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, are you sure that they will have funding for you?
No, not sure.
So that's again going back to the question. So your desire of doing a PhD is driven by not having a funding or not having any interest, or both?
Yeah.
Huh?
Both. Sorry.
But
both would be a correct option.
But if I have to say, number one is interest or number one is funding?
Funding is the first option.
Okay. So my question to you here is an example I'm saying. Let's say there is some ABC university in US, and they say, Pradeep, can you join us? We have a funding for you and we have a PhD program. would you be willing to go there, or you said no, I don't want to go there, I want to find a job and explore that option first?
I want to find a job first. That is my first priority.
Okay, so again, I now understand. So again, coming back to your point that you have to go back and think again that you came to this place because you want to do PhD, but why then it changed your mind? That is also I'm trying to figure
No,
out.
like yeah, that I'll answer to your question. Like previously, I was having this thought, the same thought. While before coming here itself, I had a thought of like if I'm not getting funding for a year, like complete year, fall 2019 I had admitted and spring 2020. Yeah, 2020. Yeah. If I'm not getting a funding for 1 year, I initially planned I'll convert a PhD to masters and I'll go to a job because I didn't get any PhD admitted apart from University of Cincinnati. That's the problem. I applied to 7 universities.
Yeah, that's
so.
So again, what I'm saying is, if there's an option out there where they say we have a funding for you for a PhD program, are you willing to join or not? Or it is whether it will be driven by your interest or it will be driven by, I really want to do an industry job. I don't want to do PhD now. You are done with that part.
Yeah, I am done with that part. Likewise, only I'm thinking. I'm having no interest also. That is one thing. That is a thing.
So my question is, what changed? Why it changed? Again, I'm saying because it was you had a bad experience at your current university. Maybe that played a big role, or you when you saw something and you say, "Oh my God, it takes 4 years," and I never realized that, and I don't want to commit.
No, the problem is like interest. Interest also plays a major role here. Like I don't want to, because I'll be thinking in ways such that like smart work will be somewhere useful. Like not like without hard work you can't do anything. But my way of mindset is was like that. Like without going through all these things, like reading the research papers and publishing, so it will take time. So interest motivates me first. As in the first place, even though funding is a criteria, but interest motivates me first. First, you should have the motivation for research. If not, then you should not take the.
Do you have that motivation?
No, I have not having that motivation.
You're not having the motivation. So maybe that could be the reason that you didn't find the right place, probably, right? It could be the reason.
Yeah.
That's
true.
fine.
So I didn't decide on what the research I want to do because somehow I should get into US for a job. That's what that should not be the mindset for a for a simple layman. But that was my mindset. Like somehow my goal was to enter into US to get into a job in the core mechanical field. So I have found.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think what you're thinking is something out of the box. Everybody does that. I have done that. I mean, I think also, right? We come to find a job. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to understand, but because your questions have, all your 5 questions has PhD on it. So I really want to understand. I want to figure that out. What is motivating you to do next thing? Because that's what I want to tell you what you should do. And I'm just trying to, through questions, I'm trying to figure that out.
So, okay, I'll answer your question. Like, have you find an answer to your question? No, right? Till now,
I think what I understood is that you were a motivated person, then you came here to do PhD. But my feeling is because of the bad experience at your current university, you are like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But again, my question is, if it could be possible that you can find a better place, not this university or maybe somewhere else, and maybe you will find your lost interest and then you will be a good PhD student. And again, to be honest with you, the reason I'm saying it very simple. Yes, again?
Yeah. The initially I had like oscillations of not doing PhD. That was the initial. That's what I'm telling. If I now, as of now, if I get a PhD admitted at another university also, I don't think so I'll go.
Okay. No, the reason I'm telling you is very simple. Is this is the situation right now. And when are you graduating, by the way? with your masters?